been at the top. You had some time off. You said that refocused me. I got better. I'm hungry. What's next for Chad Mendes?
Brock Lesnar, where you at?
What up, everybody, and welcome back to yet another Sound of Violence. This is our recap for UFC Fight Night Boise, Junior Dos Santos versus Ivanov, as I learned to pronounce Boise correctly. It's not Boise, y'all. It's Boise. Shouts to John Morgan. Anyway, I am Pulver. I'm here with my co-host, Chris Mandaffer. What up, dude?
It's going.
It is going.
It's a slow day for me at work. Almost fell asleep. It was that slow.
Understandably.
Yeah.
I was hungover enough that I almost fell asleep as well. I last night ended up getting real hammered watching the Doug Stanhope and Joe Rogan podcast.
Something I need to check out as well.
It's real good. And then I also ended up watching after that the Keg episode of That 70s Show, which was like my OG drinking game when I was like fucking 16. And I tried to watch part of Black Panther, but by that point I got way too hammered. So, also our recording setup probably sounds different this week a little bit since I'm in the process of moving. So there's a lot less stuff in this room that we're recording in, and we're not sitting in our normal setup. And so I got rid of the couch that was dying on me. So. If you guys hear a difference in the sound, that is why, and that'll get better shortly. Hey, soon you won't have fridge noise in the background like I'm sure you do right now.
Or Joey Jerkoff upstairs.
Oh, that's right. Senor Beat Off. Anyway, we are going to talk about the Boise card as well as the Tuesday Night Contender Series card, which we just watched, which one of their slower ones, but still pretty good.
Yeah, and it also featured a fight that probably showcased two of the worst haircuts we've seen.
Two of the worst haircuts and some of the worst generators, evidently.
Yeah.
Evidently, the Vegas Heat cannot hang out long enough to keep the lights on in the Tough Gym. So that's got to be interesting. Anyway, why don't we go ahead and start by jumping into this Boise card. It was good card. It was a lot of fun. Like, I expected a little bit more from it. I think part of what hurt it a bit was all the terrible judging.
Yeah, there was definitely a couple of, questionable calls.
I mean, more than questionable. They're just straight up bullshit. But we will start at the top of the card. Junior Dos Santos took on Boise Ivanov in a fight that we kind of nailed.
Yeah, I had no idea that Ivanov had been stabbed in the heart, which is fucking insane.
Yeah.
It's pretty metal as fuck, I may add, due to the fact that he survived, let alone was in a coma. Clearly I wouldn't be fearing anyone.
That's right.
I mean, and he didn't show any fear. This dude literally kept his hands down and just charged forward and was just throwing...
Charged forward and threw single shots in low volume like he always does.
Yeah.
And then Junior Dos Santos kind of just pieced him apart from the outside.
Didn't give a shit about getting clipped.
No, because he got bombed on a couple times by Junior. And Junior just had a super smart game plan and staying on the outside.
So he had the Justin Gaethje approach, just minus the leg kicks.
Right. So at this point, you got to wonder who is going to be next for Dos Santos, because that division is kind of a mess.
Yeah, because you kind of have who's up there. You got Volkov.
Here, I'll pull it up.
Blades is up there.
Oh, also, you know what? While I'm pulling this up, we should talk about our sponsor. Our Pop-Up Vodka presents Doug Stanhope presents.
So
on brand.
Tonight we have sponsored by Deschutes.
Super officially, totally not unofficially.
Deschutes Brewery out of Bend, Oregon. This is their Just Tapped series. I think it's basically like it's kind of like Enjoy By, like it's fresh. Right?
It is. It's supposed to be quick to shelf essentially.
It's their passion fruit IPA. I like it a lot. Let me see what you think.
Yeah, it's a solid IPA. I mean, Deschutes makes good. Like
their fresh squeezes,
Northwest IPAs.
Yeah.
Let's see. Heavyweight rankings. So Junior previously, I'm not using UFC rankings. By the way, when I'm looking at this, I'm using Tapology rankings, which are just better because crowdsourced rankings are generally better. Right now on Tapology, Junior is just below Reem and Ngannou. I
maybe have him fight Ngannou.
But do you want to kill Ngannou off? I mean, they were supposed to fight back at UFC 215.
Yeah.
But I think that was when Dos Santos flagged from USADA.
That's right.
I don't know. He does have that loss to Alistair not that long ago, and Alistair recently had an interesting fight, so you could do that. Verdum versus JDS you could do again, because they've fought before, right?
I believe so.
Wait, have they not fought before? Really?
JDS wants Stipe.
JDS wants Stipe. I don't think JDS is gonna get Stipe though. Is the problem?
No.
And I like that fight as a for a third fight. I don't know that I like it off of Stipe needs the rest of the year off at least, which I guess maybe JDS could use too. I don't know. That heavyweight division, you could basically just mash any two characters together, and it'll be aight. Generally, it won't be Francis Ngannou versus Derek Lewis no matter what you do. So everything's a step up at this point.
That's gonna be pretty hard to top.
Yeah, or bottom.
Yeah, but the point being
that
I don't think it get any worse than that.
I doubt it. So it'll be interesting to see how he looks going forward. Again, impressive performance, but kind of what I expected from that fight. And also, it was midnight almost when that fight went on. 11? 10?
I think it was 10:30, 11.
Maybe I was just real hammered by that point after the fucking Sage Northcutt and Dennis Bermuda. Actually, I think the judging is what got me hammered during this card, which we will talk about here in a bit. Speaking of weird judging and weird fights in general, Sage Northcutt and Zach Otto went at it in the co-main event, which should have been in the prelims.
Yeah, I thought this was an entertaining fight.
Super entertaining, considering Sage got dropped, 5 seconds into that?
Yeah, was that a knee or was it a short right?
It was a short hook that put him down when they both threw, and then he, I believe, got mounted and pounded on for a bit. And then started to rally towards the end of the round when Zach Otto looked like he was slowing down and gassing pretty hard. It seemed like Otto looked good early, and then eventually started to kind of just slow down. In that, it seemed like he burned a lot of his energy early trying to get that finish.
Yeah, I think so too. He was pretty. I mean, yeah, he was just kind of he was gassed, simply put.
Pretty much, and then so Sage Northcutt is able to start working Zach Otto over in the second. Clipped him with, I forget what he clipped him with, something big, and then put him out with hammer fist.
I think it was almost like a lead left hook that he lunged forward and kind of.
I know it was
clipped him on the side of the jaw.
Yeah, he clipped him when he was near, kind of tracing the cage, and then jumped on him and pounded him out with hammer fists.
Yeah, because he started ripping some uppercuts to the body too.
Yep. Yeah, Sage. Everyone's real hyped about how Sage looked in this fight. He still got clipped and dropped 5 seconds in, though. And, while I get it's good to see Sage overcome adversity.
Yeah, and
I
granted,
think we probably need to slow our roll on some of that.
Yeah, and I think people will know that he's still young, and he's just going to pretty much continue to grow and develop, especially at a Team Alpha Male.
Yeah. The problem I have with Sage is everyone tries to matchmake him like he belongs towards the top of the division.
Yeah, no, nowhere near it.
I heard people
gradually building him up.
Fucking Matt Serra on Unfiltered yesterday or today said that he wants to see Sage versus fucking who was it? Fucking Wonder Boy. He's like, I know it's a little premature, but Sage versus Wonder Boy would be crazy.
Yeah, no, what?
And then Jim Norton says, oh no, Sage versus Mike Perry, which is if Jim Norton is giving the more reasonable matchups, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
Unless Matt Serra is just trying to get his boy Wonder Boy an easy win.
Yeah.
So So, who do you like next for Sage? I don't even see him. Well, he's not even in the top 50 on Topology for 170.
Go to the top 20. Let's start there. Where was Otto at?
Well, so Alan Joban is too big a step up, and he's in the 30s.
Yeah. Where was Otto listed at?
I mean, he's not. That's the problem. Vincente Luque is way too big a step up.
Yeah.
Matt Brown is too big a step up. Elijah Zaleski is too big a step up. Nico Price or Max Griffin, maybe?
I heard Max Griffin's a too big a step up.
What about Emil Meck?
That makes some sense.
He's got a fight coming up.
That makes sense.
So depending on how that goes, maybe you do that. Apart from that, I mean, I guess you could go like... You can't give him Sergio Moraes. Sergio Moraes is going to choke him out. So I'm not exactly sure who you put Sage up against next. It's probably someone...
Worley Alves? Where's he at now?
Haven't they fought?
I don't know.
No, Worley's the one who beat Colby. Who's like the opposite of Sage.
Oh, and Melender fucked him
Yeah.
up.
Maybe a Barbarena rematch.
Wait, who did Melender just fight? He fought Griffin. Yeah,
Nordine Tim Means, actually,
okay.
is kind of okay.
Yeah, it's not that
Be
bad.
kind of interesting. Tim Means is also probably way too well-rounded for Sage to fight at this point, but I don't know. Matt, this is why you don't do...
keep getting wins, so he's not gonna, I don't think, feed him to someone.
Well, but that's also...
Think he can't beat.
But that's also why you don't bring dudes in that early.
What about Randy Brown?
Yeah, actually, that's the fight you make.
Yeah.
Because Randy Brown has the win over...
Mickey Gall,
who has the win over Sage, and he's coming off the loss to Nico Price via weird shit. The problem is I think Randy Brown beats Sage pretty succinctly.
So too.
But who knows? Maybe they can convince Randy Brown to take a fight too early and be a little chinny if you're the UFC.
This next fight was pretty controversial with the decision.
Well, controversial in the fact that it was shitty judging.
Yeah.
Rick Lynn got the win over Dennis Bermudez.
I thought Dennis his fourth in a row.
Yeah, I thought in third by split decision.
Yeah.
Which is gotta be fucking rough. I know John Vellante was in that group. I think somebody else had 3. Maybe I know Masvidal had 2 split decision losses at least. But yeah, I thought Dennis Bermudez pretty clearly won this 2-1.
I thought so. He definitely took that last round.
Yeah, and Ricklin looked good off his back, but he also just kept getting put on his back and beat on. And like when two dudes are throwing, one is on top and the other is on bottom, it's hard unless there's like significant damage happening to really lean one way or the other. I just thought Bermudez won I believe it was second and third, for sure the third. And yeah, I thought that was an awful decision. One of many on this card. Let's see, we'll keep on moving on.
Yeah.
Nico Price and Randy Brown, one of the weirdest finishes I've ever seen ever.
Both these guys look pretty evenly matched, I kind of felt.
Yeah.
Both of them had full mount or almost full mount at one point.
Yep.
On each other. Both of them had decent ground and pound. Both of them had good submission attempts.
Yeah, Nico Price hung... He hung way better in the wrestling than I thought he would.
Either way, the way he got that finish with the hammer fist, he, like you said before, and pretty much everyone noticed in the slow-mo, he kind of used his left foot to kind of just anchor in or trap Brown's head, right?
Yeah, so that way he basically posted his ankle and his foot right behind the head. So when he threw the hammer fist, Randy Brown's head had nowhere to go. Was he bringing in his head
with his foot like this?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that, like that.
So it was pretty fucking definitive, and one of the weirdest finishes I've seen. And that was in round 2 after Randy Brown ended the first round by clipping him with a pretty nasty knee.
Yeah, and Nike Pierce was pretty wobbly. He had to grab the fence too.
For sure, yeah. When that round ended, he looked super wobbled. So big win for that dude. And another win where I'm not exactly sure how he got the win, but he got it somehow.
That was a win. Next fight was a very important fight for Team Alpha Male product. Like I don't know if I should use the word product, hence the his ban.
That's
that
right.
He's, coming off of Chad Money Mendez. I like the WEC photo. Is that WEC? Right? I don't know.
Probably.
Looks like it,
blue gloves, blue cage.
Yeah, he was a WEC guy. I'm pretty sure.
It's also young as shit looking Chad Mendez. Looks nothing like Chad Mendez in that picture.
Let me see. Anyways, Chad Mendez is back after. Yep, I was right.
Okay, that looks way more like
it is
Chad Mendez when you blow it up.
Yeah, it's WC. He's back after being suspended for 2 years due to finding a banned substance in his skin cream uses for psoriasis.
Not true.
Or what was it then?
Well, that's what he says happened. There is no skin cream with steroids.
Well, no, I know that, but I'm telling
you.
No, because I even told you myself. I don't have psoriasis. I have not bad eczema, but I have all the skin creams I use literally have steroids.
They do, but not the kind you got flagged for.
Yeah.
No one puts HGH in skin creams. Though that doesn't exist. So.
And if they do, Anderson Silva knows about it.
That's right, and you have to get it in a blue vial from Thailand. So he took on Miles Jury. Miles Jury looked kind of lost in this fight.
Yeah, I feel like he was just anticipating a takedown in the shooting.
Yeah, I had Jury going into this because it was counter punching, because he was looking really good in his last fight with his ability to counter.
Yeah.
But Chad Mendez was just drawing him out with feints and then blasting him
that
with
explosive
shots.
left was pretty impressive. The way he just kind of darts right in.
Crazy how he put him down with that. It was like a shovel uppercut almost. It was like somewhere between a jab and a shovel uppercut. It was nasty. He put him down and then ground and pounded him out. Good stoppage, I thought.
He says he wants a top 5 guy next up.
He should. He was top 5 before this.
Yeah.
And he looked no different than he used to be honest. Physically and performance-wise, so.
Yeah, his stature, his physicality looked the same. Obviously, the guy stays in shape. He's an avid hunter. I know Dillashaw's talked about that.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, if I look at the UFC's rank in the top 5, you would just say give him Cub Swanson. That's just being mean to Cub Swanson. He's just been getting fed to everyone.
Yeah, I'd like to see him fight a younger dude, like a Mirsad Bektic type.
That'd be a good fight. He's a decent wrestler.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun. Like, I think
that's the fight to make. I know Korean Zombie wants to fight Frankie Edgar.
Yeah, because you can't really throw him straight to the wolves again.
Not till Waikano will be okay. He's top number 10.
Yeah, either of those dudes. Problem is, Chad's fought a lot of these guys before. Or should you say,
fuck it? Another fighter on this card, Volkanovski.
I think
that's a little too soon for Volkanovski.
Too soon for both of them. I think it does nothing for either one of them is the problem.
Yeah. I mean, it does more for Volkanovski.
It definitely does more for Volkanovski at this point, but it doesn't. I don't know why Chad would take that necessarily. No. I don't know that beating Chad Mendez at this point in Volkanovski's career does a ton for him. Like, I think pretty much any other name would do more for him at this point. Also, Volkanovski versus any of the top 5 dudes or 6 or 7 dudes would be fucking fire. Like, Volkanovski versus Moicano would be dope. Volkanovski versus Swanson would be dope. Volkanovski versus Edgar would be dope.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun fights to make with that dude, which we'll get to in a bit.
Speaking of, this is the opposite of the men's featherweight as far as this division is pretty much a mess when it comes to contenders. Women's bantamweight division.
It's a mess when it comes to people staying involved. I feel like half the division is either pregnant or retired. You have the number 1 contender
in Holly Holm being that she's also in the featherweight division.
Also, that is a problem, that she's a number 1 contender at bantamweight despite not having
But then you have Ketlin Vieira at number 2, who I don't like at all as far as watching her fight. Yes, she has great grappling.
She's great. I think she's probably the next champ.
But I don't know.
She's really fucking good on the ground. And I think just the way she puts a pace on people, I think could be a problem for Amanda. And she's the only clear contender at this point.
Juliana Pena, you think is still a leave of absence because she had a kid recently?
I honestly don't think she's coming back, but we'll see.
Rocky Pennington got murdered and she
Taking
survived.
A bunch of time off.
Jermaine Durandamy's busy being a police officer, I think, in the Netherlands.
Also has an injury.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know who Kat should fight next. Rocky? I don't know.
Well, so if Rocky comes back, then I think that's the fight you make. The problem is, I think Rocky fucks Kat Zingano.
Oh, I think so too.
The problem is Kat Zingano in this fight, as we've talked about a bit before the show, she has a tendency so much in this fight to just square up whilst changing stances. Because she's trying to work in a little bit of that alliance footwork still. But
she was just thinking about the footwork too much.
Well, she also pauses.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't do what Dom and TJ do, where they take a step and then move their foot. Yeah. Instead, she just decides, I'm going to put the other foot forward. And when you do that, you pause while changing stances, like while you're just straight head on to the person. And that is exactly how she got blasted a couple times early in that fight. Did end up absolutely beating the shit out of Marion Renault via Marion Renault just choosing to pull guard constantly.
And not suit her stand-up, which she should have done.
Well, and that's exactly...
I get it, Zingano was aggressive and did give her too many opportunities.
Also, Renault has next to no takedown defense in her last couple fights and has won all of them by either someone fucking up a takedown or by her catching someone in a sub. And you're not going to do either of those with Kat Zingano, so... As soon as Marion Renault started pulling guard, Kat Zingano just completely stopped striking and outside of just trying to set up takedowns and looked real good because of it. Yeah,
so we'll see where she goes from there. I'm not really sure who she's going to get paired up with, but I guess it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. This fight I realized I didn't watch.
Another bad decision. In my opinion.
So, how did this fight go?
Eddie Wineland looked real sharp in that he was able to counter-strike pretty effectively and just keep range and throw bombs like he does. He definitely got clipped a bunch, but so did Perez. And scrappy fight, but I had Wineland taking it 2-1 pretty clearly. I mean, there were close rounds, but I definitely felt Wineland took it, and... Another weird fucking decision from Boise. I don't know why. I don't know if it's their local commission judges, because there was a couple names I didn't recognize, but there was also some names I did recognize that were also butchering calls, so I don't know what was up, but it was definitely a rough night of decisions, and I mean, as we will talk about it in the next fight, but Perez did look good, though. Perez put on a decent performance, but Wineland was pretty impressive considering his last couple of outings have been a little rough, if I remember right. So I'll be interested to see where both those dudes move in this division, but yeah, I don't know, man. This is one of those. A lot of these fights, they really lose a lot of steam when bad judging decisions happen, because it's like, well, fuck, what do we do with both of these dudes now?
Excuse me. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, especially if it's a split decision too. You're like, well, neither guy looked definitive or whatever. It's like, it's almost like you both sent him down.
Yeah, and even this one was unanimous, but it was unanimous in a way that, like, I don't know, man. I could see it going either way, but I definitely thought Wineland did the more damage and looked a bit better. Speaking of god awful decisions. Volkanovski won a clear unanimous decision off Darren Elkins, despite two judges giving him a 29-28, when it should have been closer to a 30-26.
Yeah, how the fuck I saw highlights from this. I was reading the Reddit comments, and people were like, what the fuck is going on?
Kat got a fucking 30-26, and Volkanovski didn't get one. Like, what the fuck is that?
So how legit is this dude Volkanovski at this point?
He completely lit Darren Elkins on fire the entire time.
Okay.
Out-wrestled him, outstruck him, outworked him, put him on his ass multiple times throughout the fight. Somehow they gave Darren Elkins a round, which is insane. Volkanovski's a fucking beast. I'm really excited to see who they match him up with going forward. I think their smart matchup is someone like Moicano. I don't think they're going to do that. Or like a Bektic type. I don't think they're going to do that, though. But, man, he looked really fucking good. Like, really fucking good in that fight. He's also out of City Kickboxing.
Yeah, I saw Israel in the crowd.
Yeah, Israel held up his clearly whiskey and coke and was yelling cheers. So, pretty dope and hard not to root for that dude. He's looked very fucking impressive as of late. Out of New South Wales.
Yeah, I mean, give him a top 15 or.
Top 10.
Or top 10. Oh, yeah, huh? Because Elkins is like number 6. What am I talking about?
Something like that, yeah.
Never mind. I just answered that question.
Yeah, so it'll be... I'm excited to see what's next for that dude, for sure. Speaking of bad decisions, yet again, Said Nurmagomedov did not beat Justin Scoggins, despite his record saying they're cousins.
Okay, that makes sense.
But, like, they're, like, Russia cousins.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, like, being... It's like... How do I say this without it sounding racist? It's like being...
Hey, they're white. It's not racist.
Well, but my comparison is about to be if I'm not careful.
Oh, never mind.
It's like being the brother of someone from East County in San Diego. 50-50 on them actually being your brother.
Yeah, I can see that.
You know what I mean? It's
So you could say they were in East County. They were baptized with Monster Energy. In Russia, they were both baptized with vodka, which is why they're probably related. That makes them cousins.
Sure. Is that how that works? I don't know how baptisms work, bro.
Well, let's just say they use Monster Energy in East County.
Well,
a little too much brat.
Yeah, I mean, if the kid doesn't have a hat on backwards, it's not in East County.
And his name is Kyle.
Is that shade throwing your brother?
No, because we're not East County at all.
Okay.
A lot of East County kids are literally named Kyle.
I also would have
Monster Energy hats going brat.
Oh, I know more than one, and I also would have accepted the names Chad or Luke
or Brad.
Yeah, any of those would have worked. 100%. Oh man, yeah. I thought Justin Scoggins outstruck Said. I thought Said definitely took the third round because Scoggins basically coasted the third round, but Scoggins landed the better shots in the first two and shut down the takedowns enough to where I thought he pretty clearly won both of them, and that was the beginning of my giant parlay getting fucked, which was not fun. But yeah, this card had awful decisions pretty much throughout. There's one good decision on this card, and we'll get to it here in a minute. I guess the main event was an okay decision too, but Raoni Barcelos.
This was a fun fight.
Barcelos, I totally fucked that name up. Versus Kurt Hallba. Man, yeah, what a fucking banger. We talked about how I thought this was probably gonna be fight of the night when we were breaking down this card, and I still think it was probably fight of the night. Just because it was the most competitive of the scrappy fights. Like, as much as Darren Elkins hung in there and got the shit beat out of him, I thought this fight was way crazier.
I mean, yeah, both guys weren't afraid to throw fucking bombs.
Constantly.
They both tagged each other really well. They both... Their guard wasn't too bad. I mean, it was more of a boxing match and kind of a slugfest, like brawler style. But
for sure.
It wasn't like you couldn't really say when you saw the fight like they're doing something wrong technically. They kind of there's some technical stuff. Maybe they could fine tune.
They could probably not eat every right hand that the other dude throws.
So they could have definitely guarded more.
Yeah.
But there wasn't something that caught my eye to see them saying, "Oh, this guy's clearly," you know what I mean? Like like you could tell they're both MMA guys.
Yeah, and they would just straight brawled the entire time. Barcelos kept throwing that monster uppercut over and over and over again and clipped Hallba bad a ton of times. And he, throughout the fight over and over, he kept throwing the right uppercut to right hook combo.
And that fucking 5-punch combo, dude.
Oh my god.
Man, that was some
yeah, it was like what? It was a right hook or no, left hook?
It wasn't a combo more in the sense that it was 5 consecutive shots landed.
It was as much of a combo as you can get while a dude is falling backwards.
Yeah, it was some video game shit.
Yeah, it was. I think it was a left hook, right hook, and then
it was the right 1-2. Yeah, it was just the 1-2. He starts going backwards,
and then he hits the right uppercut, right hook, right uppercut,
and then it gets him. Yeah.
And blast Kurt Hallbaugh backwards in the third round. Just a wild fucking scrap. The entire second round they're just going at it, and then the third round Barcelos just kept going back to that uppercut, and it just kept landing. He still got bombed on and was cut pretty bad towards the end of that fight, but got the win in definitive fashion. And holy shit, am I excited to see that guy going forward. Because Kurt Hallbaugh is a beast. He beat Matt Bessette on Contender Series.
He'll stick around for sure.
And Bessette's got a win in Contender Series and...
Tough,
2 wins on... No. I think he just got a win on Contender Series.
Too? Like once upon a time?
Maybe, way back. Yeah, maybe. But super impressive performance, and I'm definitely excited to see that dude again.
So this fight,
the only good decision of the night.
Uriah Faber against Jennifer Maia. I didn't see.
I saw someone do the face swap.
It's just the Reddit joke. It's funny.
That face swap is real good. But the homie Liz Carmouche.
I didn't see this. So how did she look besides looking absolutely ripped?
Absolutely ripped. She also was throwing some motherfucking bombs in this fight.
Oh shit!
She just basically tried to drag it into a brawl against Jennifer Maia, who Jennifer Maia is a low output like counter boxer mostly, and has looked really good doing that. Looked really good at clinching people up and just winning rounds, just kind of Randy Coutureing her way through it. But against Liz Carmouche was landing fucking heaters for most of the fight. Also, evidently, Liz and Brienne, who I went to school with, and I know, I've known Brienne since elementary school, maybe. I think her and my brother used to have a crush on each other in elementary school. That's how long I've known Brienne.
Checks out.
So, yeah, Liz's wife. So Liz and her wife and her daughter were both, I think it's daughter?
I'm confused now. You just don't.
I'm trying to remember who Liz's kid is, if it's a daughter or a son. I think it's a daughter. Anyway, Liz's kid and Liz's wife, Brienne, were both super sick going into this fight. And Liz actually was sick as well, which she talked about in the post-fight speech. Wow. So there's some interesting articles. I want to say from MMA Junkie. I want to say maybe Ben Folks or somebody worked on it. But there's an interesting article out there about how... Liz knew that she was going to be sick going into this fight because her daughter and her kid and her wife both ended up getting sick. So, man, impressive for her to pull that out. Also, she was not nearly as jacked as we saw her. I think it's probably because of the weight cut. Because she looked she would look bigger than you at the fucking event we were at. And you're no fucking 25er. So, it was pretty goddamn impressive. And Liz looked great. I'm excited to see. She's definitely about to go on a run in that division. It's starting to feel like there's the way she's putting beatings on people is...
I hope so. I would like to see it. That'd be a fun renaissance.
Well, and that team is on fire right now between her and Alima McFarlane and a couple other people. I know another dude named Adrian who trains out at that gym, and he's been real hyped on how that camp has been doing lately. So, really impressive, and I'm excited to see more of Liz going forward for sure. And then Mark De La Rosa versus Elias Garcia.
This is a fun script.
Probably the fight we called the best this weekend. I always thought this was going to end in a sub. Just because Mark De La Rosa subs are solid, and Elias Garcia looks to get caught in subs a lot from this tape.
I like how I remember originally, I don't know if it was you or me, because he had a Spanish last name. You're like, Elias or Elias?
Yeah.
That was great.
That was me, probably.
Yeah. That was you.
It's so fucking... having grown up knowing Spanish and then following a lot of fighting where Brazil pronounces everything exactly the opposite of how Spanish does, it just ruins every name for me. Like, I can never... And then randomly be like, oh, no, yeah, Elias Garcia is from fucking Arizona.
Bro, can I have some serrano peppers? No, can I have some Serrano peppers?
Yeah, those Serrano peppers, Mark de la Hosa. Yeah. So Mark... Respect. Yeah, exactly. So Mark looked good in this fight. Unlike his previous fight, we didn't just see takedown attempts and groundwork, which was pretty much his entire last fight. I mean, he started both the rounds in his last fight just shooting a takedown, not even, like, pretending to throw a right hand and then just going straight for a takedown. So he actually stood and banged quite a bit in this fight, throwing some heaters at Elias, and eventually was able to get his back. He was able to transition, so I believe it was... I don't remember how he got the back clinch. It was off of some kind of exchange where Elias ended up turning his back. He got the body... Or no, you know, it was a single leg to a body lock. Elias turned his back when he backed up towards the cage. And then De La Rosa was able to break him down and sink in that rear naked and stretch him out super fucking deep, super under the chin, and completely put him out.
It's impressive for sure.
Yeah, there was no getting out of that choke. So, good win for him for sure. I can't imagine it's easy to go into a fight when Montana, his wife, is literally trying to hold back tears and, like, sniffing a lot and wiping, like, tears off her face while walking out with him. It's got to be tough on you. Whereas Paige Van Zandt was looking very calm and nonchalant during the Austin Vanderford fight tonight, despite him almost dying.
Do you think that guy should have gotten a contract?
We'll talk about that in a minute, but yeah, Mark De La Rosa, big win for him for sure. And then another, what I feel is a bad decision, although one of the closer decisions on the card, Jag took on Jody Escobar. I thought Jody won it 2-1. I thought Jag looked good early and then kind of faded a bit. And Jody Escobar just started landing. I thought she landed the more effective strikes. But Jag's clinch work was really strong. She had some solid knees in the clinch. I don't know. I'm not that upset about it, but I definitely had Escobar winning that fight. And I don't know. Both these women in this division are in a place where they could fight pretty much anyone in the division. Like, they're not...
Yeah.
I don't know. That division's so young and so weird that I'd be happy to see kind of anyone around their range that they're going to face off against. But overall, pretty good card. The pacing was a little rough with all the decisions, I felt like. And especially with the decisions going fucked up the entire time. Made it kind of rougher, but I thought overall the card was still pretty good, and there was some super impressive performances for sure. Week 5.
Ooh, that says 2017.
Oh, you're right. So it's going to be way easier if you just go back to the other page. Or you do that. It's going to be easier if you go back to the other page. Is that it? Yeah, there you go. Right. There you go. Right there on the right.
Right here?
Yeah. Yeah, that. All right, so now that we've talked about that, we will discuss the Dana White Tuesday night. Actually, fuck that dude. We'll discuss the Tuesday Night Contender Series. I don't want to shout that dude out for anything. Oh, my God. Speaking of which,
So, are you saying you want to discuss just specific people on here real quick, or what were you getting at?
Well, I was going to say that, speaking of the name holder of this Contender Series, he will come up this week on our actual podcast where we break down MMA podcasts, and he is going to be featured in a show that is going to probably make my catch and skip categories. So you can probably guess who that involves. I'm not going to make an Eskimo brother joke. Let's move on.
I was going to say, maybe he's been to Alaska, but never mind.
They're called Inuits, please.
Yeah,
and
just ask Harley. He's Inuit.
That's right. And really, I'm offended that no one has seen Arizona Dream is my real problem here. All right, let's keep on moving on. That's a reference that one person would get ever, maybe.
Or what was that movie where the kids rescue the polar bear and all that? Never mind.
Balto?
No. the one from the 90s where they fight the poachers. And
Polar Express?
No, it's called... I don't fucking know.
I don't know, man.
Whatever. It sucked. Yeah, I thought it was cool when I was a kid.
Bad.
It was really lame.
Oh, anyway, so this Contender Series card was one of the slower ones of the season, for sure. 2 decisions on it, and a couple... Well, actually, 1 decision on it, because I forgot.
It was slow to the point where I looked at my phone to check the fucking Major League Baseball All-Star game.
That's true.
Which, ironically, was a fantastic game.
Yeah.
The final score was like 8-6. Anyways, yeah, that's what we got with some of the fights on here.
Well, one of them in particular, specifically.
Oh, you mean the battle of...
the battle of the hair.
Sponsored by Reddit r Just Fuck My Shit Up.
Yeah.
A subreddit dedicated to terrible haircuts. Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty rough.
Like, it was Team Cinnabon versus Team Toaster Strudel, basically.
Essentially. Shouts to Ronda Rousey. All right, we'll start at the top of the card. Macy Barber got the win over Jamie Colleen. Macy Barber... looked super fucking impressive in this fight. Jamie Colleen, former Contender Series winner, and she didn't look terrible. Colleen didn't, but Barber just kind of won every aspect of the fight up until the 3rd round where she got the ground and pound TKO. And she ended up getting a contract, which I'm happy about because she looked great. And they could use more 115ers, especially young ones that are on a run. She's now 5-0 and looking real impressive. Like, she could hang with some of the, especially the lower end of that division. She could fuck some girls up.
She's only fucking 20 years old too.
That too, yeah. She has a timer on her phone, evidently.
Yeah, room to grow.
Yeah, evidently she has a timer on her phone on how long she has until she can be the youngest champ. Shouts to Josh Barnett.
Who was like 22, I think.
Something like
which is
that.
Still insanely young.
Yeah.
John Jones was 23.
I believe so, something like that.
Yeah.
But super impressive performance from her. Speaking of impressive performances, Domingo Pilarte with the fucking comeback after being way ahead. He was piecing up Vince Morales early, then started getting lit the fuck on fire at the end of the first, beginning of the second, just getting bombed on. Almost got finished at the end of that first round, and then came back and got the sub. Nasty RNC, too. Put him out cold.
Yeah,
not even out cold.
That dude was leaking bad, too. The other guy was. Put him out.
Oh, for sure. And
he was, like, twitching. And
I was going to say, he didn't put him out cold. He put him out twitching. It was fucking rough. And that dude rolled through and tried to hang on for that rear naked choke forever. Like, it was like 3 or 4 full rotations on the ground of him trying to fight that choke off.
It was kind of a scary finish to look at. This other fight, Battle of the Terrible Haircuts between Chibwakim Onyenegecha. I don't know how to say his name.
Yeah, I think it's Onyenegecha.
Onyenegecha, yeah. Chibwakim Onyenegecha against Anthony Adams.
Maybe the easiest name ever to say versus the hardest name ever to say.
Yeah. So, Onyenegecha, he had a cinnamon roll type haircut.
Sure did.
And Adams had a toaster strudel action.
He had like
kind of right. I mean,
he had like the Lorenz Larkin toaster strudel.
Or was it Signs haircut?
It was more Signs. Yeah.
It was Signs.
Yeah. It was like if Lorenz Larkin.
Don't put any water on him.
Yeah.
But
it was like if Lorenz Larkin and like Anthony Pettis or somebody had a kid.
Yeah, this is a weird fight.
Well, especially since the lights went out in the middle.
Yeah, it reminded me of, it was like Super Bowl 47 when the lights went out the Superdome.
Right.
And the Ravens were destroying the Niners, and then after that 30-minute timeout accident, which probably wasn't an accident, someone did that.
Yeah, you guys couldn't see the air quotes that just happened.
Yeah. Then the Niners came back, of course, and almost won. They still lost. But still, I mean, you get all that time to kind of just catch yourself. And you're like, you know.
I believe I was drinking down at High Dive with the homie old Trevor when I watched that.
I think so. Anyways, this fight was weird. I didn't even know who the fuck he won. But yeah,
I guess he won.
Cinnabon won. I don't know.
No one won.
Yeah, this should have been a draw.
including the electrical engineers for the tough house or for the
studio, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, whatever the fucking tough gym
yeah, I'm done talking about this fight. This fight sucked.
Yeah, it was awful.
Speaking of...
It was awful, but still way better than way better than Ngannou versus Lewis.
Yes, that's going to be hard to beat as far as fuck this fight. Next fight, we saw Austin Vanderford went up against current alpha male guy Angelo Trevino.
Yep. And got fucked up for a lot of the first part of that fight.
Yeah, it was an impressive comeback. He ended up coming back, setting up some good shots, rocked Trevino pretty bad. I think it was with an uppercut. He was able to get his back sinking that rear naked. I mean, good job. He didn't get a contract, though.
He didn't, and I'm super surprised.
Yep.
I guess PVZ isn't putting out in a way that Eskimo Brothers with Brendan Schaub would appreciate, but
Cody Garbrandt didn't appreciate. Well, excuse me.
But yeah, no, it was a good performance, but he also got lit fucking on fire for the first big chunk of this fight, where he was just getting clipped and dropped most of the first.
He's got a good chin. He was almost out.
Yeah, I mean, he's got very good wrestling is the thing that really stood out to me in this fight, because Trevino's wrestling is super solid, and he just was able to out-wrestle Trevino pretty much every time, especially out-scramble him. And, man, that gym does not get as much credit as it deserves. Gracie Baja Portland with Fabiano Scherner and... I mean, especially the welterweights. There's Vanderford.
Is Chael at that one, or is he at the other?
I think he's under Scherner.
Yeah.
So he's if he's not there full time, he's there at least part time.
Okay.
But I mean, for the welterweights, you have Vanderford and you have Jake Smith, who are both fucking killers. You have Rick Story, who just recently moved to that gym, and then down a couple weight classes, you have guys like Chris Sunshine Williams, and you got Paige there. That gym is starting to put out some real impressive prospects, especially the younger dudes like Jake Smith and Chris Sunshine Williams, Ricky Simon. Ricky Simon's
Simone?
out of that gym.
Simone, right?
Is it Simone? I always fuck that up.
There's the accent over the O.
I always fuck that up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm starting to become very impressed with that gym. Plus, Jake Smith, Chris Sunshine Williams, and Ricky Simone, or Simon, however you say it, are all fucking hilarious. Jake Smith, of course, is the host of the podcast, The Writer and the Fighter, along with Dave Golden. I think it's Dave Golden. I hope I'm not fucking that up. I believe it is. I almost said Dave Madden, but that's the NorCal Fights guy. I think it's David Golden, I believe. But super funny podcast, and his Twitter game is super on point. So I don't know. I'm excited to see what comes for what's coming forward for a lot of those guys, because there's a crop of welterweight monsters in that gym that are all looking real fucking good with some solid hands, and their jiu-jitsu and wrestling is all getting better by the day. So I'm excited to see how that works going forward. Oh boy. And then we get to this fight.
We got Edmonds.
Also, we should mention Pilarte was another guy who got a contract earlier with that RNC. And then the other contract went to Edmund of Edmond.
Yeah. Edmond, the GOAT head coach. His son, Edmond. Just kidding. Yeah. I don't know. He starts this Antonio Jones guy, who I think literally was quoted saying, "I'm going to show this guy what it's like to be a man."
He did, but Antonio Jones also just shelled up and got bombed on the entire time.
Yeah.
He really didn't show much of anything in that fight.
He definitely didn't show Edmund what it's like to be a man. He showed him how to curl up and die.
He also, Antonio Jones did not show, maybe he should have been working with Edmund, because the one thing that could have really helped him a lot in this fight,
head movement.
Nailed it. So I don't know. It was a pretty good Contender Series card overall. Not my favorite week of Contender Series for sure, but there's some decent prospects that are definitely going to come out of this, especially Barber. I feel like Macy Barber has a chance to make serious waves in that division, especially being so young and so all-rounded.
Maybe one of her 5 or 6 other siblings will be contenders.
Yeah, Jesus. Whenever I'm not gonna make the reference to the fuck, what's his name? Doug Stanhope's buddy, Matt Becker joke about it's Christine Levine joke about her own vagina.
Oh yeah.
About.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I'm just go ahead and skip it. Go listen to Doug Stanhope podcast if you wanna hear that, and also listen to Rogan on Stanhope, which we broke the news on that debuting Monday. So that was a lot of fun, and I am excited because this week we do have Invicta coming up.
Oh, sick!
We got Invicta on Saturday in the Fight Night Hamburg, Germany.
Hamburg, yeah, I think so.
Which is Shogun versus Anthony Smith, which. Oh boy, I hope that doesn't go how I think it will, because that's going to be depressing.
Yeah.
But that card's okay. It's not like the Singapore card, you know? Like, there's at least some recognizable names on it, so that should be interesting. So we will be back on Friday for the recap, for our regular show, and then we'll preview Invicta as well as, or some of the names on Invicta anyway. As well as we'll preview that UFC card. So you guys can keep an eye out for that. If you would like to join the Mag War League, which is a fantasy MMA league, we have one spot left on our group, or whatever the fuck you call it. I guess league.
In
right?
our league, yeah.
Yeah. So essentially, you pick fighters, you draft them, and you earn points based on whether or not they get a win, where they are on the card, and how they finish the fight. Whether it's early via KO or sub, or late via decision, or whatever. So, oh hey, I guess we have a volunteer. He's not welcome, but he's sure petitioning. Or maybe he's just mad that he's not in the league. So if you guys are interested in that,
he's like, one left. I gotta hurry home and sign up.
Yeah, right. So if you guys are interested in that, shoot us a tweet on at TSOV Pod on Twitter. I can get you set up on that. We'll get you in there. You can play with all the MMA community guys that are in there. Unfortunately, Judo Bill is not going to be able to make it this season, but hopefully we'll get him in on the next season or something. Or worst case, we'll start our own league eventually and drag him into that when he's free. So if you guys are interested in that, check it out. And anything else you wanted to bring up about these last couple cards we saw?
Not at the moment, but something I'll probably bring up on Friday when we do when I think of it.
Cool,
For
man.
sure.
Cool. Well, I am actually, after we record this, I'm gonna go check out Quintet Grappling 2, which happened last night, which is the Sakuraba Josh Barnett, or at least Sakuraba influenced grappling event where it's teams of grapplers. So
cool.
Essentially you have a bunch of different guys in different weight classes, and you go one-on-one, and then when one guy loses, the next guy steps in from your team.
It's like a rotation.
Yeah, it's a really interesting format, and the 10th Planet guys out of 10th Planet Oceanside were on at the Freak Show, who we saw a ton of out at the Del Mar Fair event, and who also, one of which, I don't know if Boogie was on the card that we on the Quintet card, but he is the owner of the Eddie Bravo what the fuck is that thing called, combat jiu-jitsu belt or whatever the fuck they call it. So should be interesting, and I heard of 10th Planet Oceanside did pretty good, so I'm excited to check that out. And then I'm very excited for Invicta. If you guys also, I recommend, if you are at all interested in Invicta, go check out the Patreon from TJ DeSantis, Between Rounds Patreon. He's going to have live coverage all week of doing like podcasts and interviews with the fighters, as well as I'm sure he'll do shows with Julie Kedzie and Shannon Knapp. So those are always fun, and I always enjoy them. So recommend checking those out. And other than that, you guys can shoot us an email, chris@thesoundofviolence.com or sovpod@gmail.com. You can check out the website, thesoundofviolence.com. We got some pictures up there of our Summerfist gallery.
Yep.
So you can see how jacked Liz Carmouche was
Yep.
when we saw her about 2-3 weeks ago, something like that. So give that a look. And if you guys have any podcast suggestions, we're always looking for them. I know a couple people have hit us up with some. We're always trying to catch them the week after we get a recommendation for them. So we always appreciate that. And man, I think that's about it. So anything else you want to add?
That's it for me tonight.
Cool. Well, until next time, everybody, I recommend the Deschutes Passion Fruit IPA, despite not really liking passion fruit that much. It's very subtle. It's just kind of, it's almost grapefruity in its subtlety.
Yeah.
Like, it's super manageable. So, go check that out. And until next time, everybody, go do something decadent. We out. Peace.